All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to show you a delivery that I completed with TaskRabbit Delivery. So you guys are familiar with it. Most of you that follow my channel, if you're not, TaskRabbit Delivery is basically TaskRabbit. That's what they call the new app, which used to be Dolly, formerly Dolly. So TaskRabbit now handles all of, formerly Dolly. They changed the name to TaskRabbit Delivery. So that's what this is. Nothing really has changed. Everything operates pretty much the same. The app, everything's the same. There is two things that did change, and I will highlight that on a different video. But this video is about a delivery that I did that is a little uncomfortable, and I'm just going to give you a disclaimer. I'm showing you this not to shame the customer. I'm showing you this as education. This is an educational video because a lot of you guys are interested in this type of work, and I feel obligated to show you the good and the bad. I feel obligated to show you this because this is what you're getting yourself into. 100%. You are going to deliver to a house like this, and some of you guys already have. But if you're interested in this type of work, you need to see this. So I will say this, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining this, but in Texas, where I live, it is a one-person consent state. So if you're on a phone call with someone and you want to record that phone call, they do not have to have knowledge that you're recording. Only one person has to consent to it, and the person consenting can actually be you. So you can legally record someone without their knowledge. When it comes to video, the only difference is that you need to make sure you either let the person know that you're video recording, and I'm referring to in someone's house because there's an expectation of privacy. You need to let them know that you're recording, or your video camera needs to be visible. So it can't be hidden. Like if you wear a body cam, basically it's pretty evident that you're recording, you got the flashing light, all that stuff. So they need to reasonably know that you're recording. So if they don't contest, you're fine. So in this situation, I did let the customer know that I'm recording. I use my phone so that there's no question that I'm recording. I did tell the customer I'm going to record this delivery for our protection. So that's really all you need to do. Just let them know. If they do contest it, I would say don't record, but you can refuse the delivery. You can literally refuse the delivery because honestly, your camera is your lifeline. So once you go in someone's house, they can say anything. And if you don't record it, you have no protection at all. So most customers don't have an issue with, you know, a delivery driver wearing a camera. But yeah, I did let the customer know. So just so you guys know. So this is not to shame this customer. This is for educational purposes only. That's why I'm showing you this. So normally I would blur out the customer and blur out the house, but I want you guys to see this because this is a real delivery and you're going to experience this. So this is me picking up from Best Buy. I'm just going to kind of go through. I got a couple pictures to show you. It's a full-size refrigerator. It was a short distance. I think it was like 8 or 9 miles. And it was going to, the customer was an older lady. I want to say she was probably in her mid 80s. And then her daughter, who looked like she was probably in her mid 40s, maybe 50 something, about mid 50s, was there to help receive the delivery. So they are aware that I'm not able to take their door off. I can't make any modifications. I can't take the door off the fridge. It's a drop off only, and it needs to fit in the house. So they are aware of that. All right. So let's get to the first slide. All right, guys. So before I get into this, this is the house. This is my van parked on the street. We got the fridge hooked up, and I put my 3-foot ramp at the door to make it nice and smooth to go in the house. The customer did have to take the door off, this door right here, because it would not fit. So the pins were actually loose. You could literally pull them out with your finger. So the customer's daughter was able to do that. I helped her take this door off and no problem getting it in. Just to kind of give you information about the delivery itself. When you deliver for TaskRabbit Delivery, it's the same as Dolly, same rules. This is a drop off only. So contractors are not allowed to take the door off for the customer. You are not allowed to take the doors off the refrigerator, and you are only required to lift up to 100 pounds. Okay. That's what you're required to do. And you don't have to deliver anything that weighs more than 300 pounds. Okay. Now you are supposed to use the proper equipment, and this is the proper equipment. This is an appliance dolly. It's made for appliances. Okay. This is what I use to do the delivery. You do not have to deviate from this dolly. So some people will say use a shoulder dolly. Absolutely not. I don't use shoulder dollies on TaskRabbit Delivery, mainly because of the pay. The pay is not what I would charge as a direct booking. So I'm not going to break my back for a gig app job. Okay. So I don't use, that's not an option. So basically the rules are the customer has to make sure that this refrigerator fits in their house with no modifications. If there's modifications that need to be made, like taking the door off or even taking the doors off the fridge, they have to do it. They have to arrange that before the driver gets there. So our job is to bring it in the house and take it to the designated area and that's it. You don't have to plug it in. You don't have to hook it up. You don't even have to take the bubble wrap off. A lot of times I have to take the bubble wrap off because it's too bulky. It won't go through. So I'll take it off, but I'll put my personal cover on it just to protect it. All right. So I just want to make sure you understand that. So if it does not fit, people will say, well, just use a shoulder dolly. No, we don't use a shoulder dolly. We use the appliance dolly. That's the equipment that's required to do this delivery. And if it does not fit, you do not have to use a shoulder dolly. All right. So I just want to make that clear. All right. Next slide. This is another angle. Kind of just showing how the door is. Like I said, it would not fit. This part right here actually extends out. So this was the part that was getting in the way. Okay, this door is open as far as it can, and there's a little latch right here. Is bolted to this frame. So this extends out, and that also was in the way. Okay, so we needed to remove this door. So no problem. The customer was able to get the pins out, and I helped her move the door. Not a problem at all. Now here's where it gets crazy. All right, and a lot of you guys have probably seen a house like this, but some of you guys have never delivered in a house like this. All right. So this is that door I was talking about. And this is the pathway that we're taking. We're going this way. And then the kitchen is right here. This door frame is pretty low. So once we got it in here, we had to get the fridge. I had to almost lay it down flat to clear this little top part right here. All right. It's not square, it's round. So I had to get it really, really low. This was the only pathway in the house. Okay. There's junk on this side. There's junk on this side. That's it. All you have is this walkway. Okay. Thankfully, this walkway was wide enough. So I did come in, I measured the door, and I also measured this area to make sure the fridge would fit. All right. This is the kitchen. Okay. So once you make that right turn, it's another archway right here. The one I just showed you. And this is the kitchen. The fridge is going right here. Okay. I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you. This house was absolutely disgusting. It was disgusting. It was unsanitary. There were roaches on the floor and bugs and gnats. These dishes look like they haven't been washed in I don't know how long. These appliances, I don't even know if they work. I don't even know how this lady eats. Like, what does she make to eat, and where does she eat? I don't know. This was, the smell alone was like, it made me gag. Like, it make you almost throw up. I don't even know how to describe the smell. It smelled like urine. It smelled like poop, dog poop. I mean, you name it. It was a whole series of smells. It was bad. It was really, really bad. It hits you like as soon as you walk in the door, it punches you in the face. So that's the route that we had to go. This is another angle. So I'm standing in the kitchen and I'm taking a photo of this. This is what's in the house, and God knows what's in here. Are there rats in there? Possibly. I would not be surprised if there's rats. There was definitely roaches. I saw roaches. I saw ants. I saw everything. This carpet, disgusting. Hasn't been cleaned in years, probably decades. This was bad. Let me move me over. Like I said, this archway right here, this archway, once we got the fridge in, I had to turn it, and there was a little bit of space right here. So I was able to pull the dolly down. I had to lower it all the way down, like down to my knees, to get it under this archway. And I put my ramp right here, my 3-foot ramp right there. The difficult part was this sofa right here. This sofa had so much stuff on it that I didn't want to wait, and I wasn't going to clear this stuff out because, like I said, it was very nasty. And the customer wasn't able to move all this stuff. We weren't going to wait. So we had to lift this sofa up, just lift it up and kind of set it on top of this junk so I can make the turn into the kitchen. It was a nightmare. Like I said, the smell, it was terrible. So again, I'm not doing this to shame this person. There's a lot of people that suffer from this. This is a severe hoarding situation. So I'm not doing it to shame them. I'm just saying that this is the type of delivery you may have to do at some point in time in your career. You have to be willing to go in a house like this. This is the other side. The other side. This is where they're supposed to eat. There's a chandelier right here. There should be a table right here. This is where you eat dinner. I don't know where this lady eats at. She has to eat in her room. That's the only place I see that. Hold on. Might get a TaskRabbit job right now. All right. Sorry about that. Just got an offer for another job. So yeah, this is there's not even a place to eat in here. So I didn't go back here. I don't know what it looks like. To be honest with you, I was on the verge. I was very, 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 very close to making a phone call because I felt that this was unsanitary. The customer was probably her mid 80s. The only thing that prevented me or stopped me from calling or making a call about this condition was the daughter. The daughter was there and she sees all this stuff. And the older lady was very clean. She was clean. She wasn't disheveled. She wasn't dirty. She talked perfectly fine. She was completely coherent. And that's kind of what prevented me from making that call. If she was disheveled and looked like she hadn't took a shower in days and, you know, real dirty and stuff, didn't seem like she really could care for herself, you know, I might have made a call, because I feel like this is unsafe for her. This is not a good living condition. God knows what type of disease and viruses up in this house. It just, it's hard. It's hard to help someone like this, because I'm sure she's very sentimental about all this stuff in here. She doesn't see what I see. Like, she's like blind to what I'm looking at. The conditions are horrid, absolutely horrid. So this is just another angle. This is the only clear path in the house. This part and the other part that I showed you. So this is the fridge. We got the fridge in barely, and this fridge was actually too big. It did not fit. It's hitting against the counter right here. So at first I'm like, that's my fault, but it's actually not my fault, because again, it's the customer's responsibility, not mine, to make sure that the appliance fits. The mistake I made is I measured everything. I measured the door, I measured the hallway, I measured the entrance into the kitchen, but I did not measure this. I just assumed that it would fit, and I didn't measure it. If I measured it, I would have saved the hassle of bringing this in the house. So unfortunately, it didn't fit. Okay, I think I got a close up of it. Yeah, this is how close it was. It was right there. So I gave the customer an option. I said, you know, it depends on how bad you want this fridge. You can definitely make it fit. You definitely have to shade. I had to cut this this counter. She was actually asking me to do it. I said, no, I can't do it. But she said she had a neighbor that has a saw and he might be willing to do it for her. So she was undecided. I don't know if she's going to exchange this or cut this counter to get it to fit. Like I said, this was the only thing hindering us from getting it in. I mean, literally a half an inch. So it's a possibility she might keep it. But that was somewhat my fault, because I didn't measure it, but it's not my fault, because that's the customer's responsibility. All right. So we left it like this. Actually, I ended up turning it sideways. I turned the fridge sideways and I put it in there because they wanted to get access to the garage. So it's actually sideways. I didn't take a photo of it, but that's not how we left it. This kitchen, man, look at this bug spray on the counter. It was bad. There was roaches on the walls right here. It was bad. So let me show you one more thing real quick, and then I'll bring this video to an end. All right, so I took video of the path that I took, so you can get a visual of it, not just pictures. This is the path that I took. So I'm just showing you the route. So through the door, that's the daughter right there. She took the pins out. The pins were already kind of loose, so we literally pulled them out with her finger. So I had to make this turn, go down these steps, and then this is what I had to see. I saw this, and I was like, wow. It's really, really bad. And then making this turn right here was really difficult. So I was able to make that turn, pulled it up, and that's pretty much it. So I just wanted you to get a visual of what it looked like for me. So I'm gonna end the video with this. Here's the thing. Number one, in a situation like that, should I have called? I really felt like I should have called. I felt like the daughter's there. She sees the condition, but nothing's being done. So I'm not blaming her or anything. I don't even know how to feel about that. So, you know, I feel like if I do call, and when I say call, you should know who I'm talking about. Basically, like I think it's social services or the code enforcement. I don't know. I just want to report this potentially unlivable, unsanitary house that an elderly lady is living in. And I have a lot of respect for elderly people. So I usually follow my conscience when it comes to stuff like that. So I did feel a little guilty that I didn't call. But like I said, the lady was functioning like really good. Like, she spoke very well. She was very clean. She looked healthy. She looked like she eats every day. So that was the only thing that kind of hindered me from making that call. I don't want to get someone kicked out their house or whatever, but if they need help, they need help. So I kind of put that on the daughter, on the family. That's kind of their responsibility. And then number two is, what if I didn't want to go in this house? Can I refuse to do the delivery? When I walk in there and I see this, when I walk in there and this is what I see, right? Can I refuse? Can I refuse? That's the question. Can I refuse to do the delivery? And the answer is yes. If you didn't know that, yes, that's part of the term. So if you're dealing with a hostile customer, or you feel unsafe or unsanitary, right? You do not have to deliver in a unsanitary house. That's a health hazard for you. You do not have to. You can refuse it and you can take it back. I I decided to do it because, like I said, they did have that clear path. If that clear path wasn't there and I had to move stuff around, I would have refused to do the delivery. So when I worked for Sleep Number, my old job, we had that same policy. If you had a unruly customer or you were in a very unsanitary house, you could refuse. Or we had situations where the customer refused to put their dog up, put their pet up. That was part of our policy. They got an email with all the terms of the delivery, and part of that was you must put your dog up. The dog cannot be loose in the house if we're doing in-home delivery. That's with Sleep Number. They had to either put it on a leash, put it in a different room, backyard, or kennel it, one or the other. And we've had drivers that refuse to do delivery. Not me. I've done them, but there was a particular driver that was very afraid of dogs, and he would not do the delivery if you did not put the dog up. And a lot of customers would get offended or upset because they were asked to put their dog up. I don't understand that. I don't think that's offensive. I think that's great protection for both the driver and the customer, as well as the pet itself. But yeah, you could refuse. So anyway, I just wanted to show this. Again, not here to shame the customer. I want you to see firsthand what you may encounter and how are you going to handle this situation. Are you still going to do the delivery, or are you going to refuse it? Are you going to call to get this lady help? I don't know. I still feel bad about it because me just showing you pictures and video, you don't really feel it. You have to be there. When you walk in there and you see what I'm talking about and you smell that smell, it hits different. So I think I showed you enough so you get an idea, but you have to walk in this house and see what I'm talking about. It was bad. It was really bad. And I've been in some bad houses, but this was among the top. This is a top 5, definitely. So anyway, that's it for this video. Got a little too long, but I did want to share that with you guys. Be prepared. This is what you have to deal with. By the way, in case you're curious, this job actually paid $93 or $97. I don't remember, but it's actually really good pay. I think I drove, what did I tell you guys? 8 or 9 miles. It might have been like 13 miles, something like that. I'll put it on the screen, but it actually paid really good. The pay has actually been increasing. Typically a job like this, just a delivery with that distance would be around $70, $68, $70. So the pay has actually increased in my market. So anyways, I'll get into that in a different video. Y'all have a good one, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.